It's time for the Jefferson College Sports Report here on 1400 KJFF. We're at the Jefferson College Fieldhouse, and joining us is the athletic director and women's volleyball coach JoEllen Stringer. Later in the program, we'll talk with Kevin Emmerich, head coach of the women's basketball team. Coach, coming off the Hutchinson tournament, very good tournament, very good competition out there. How do you feel things went down?
Well, not like we wanted, certainly. We lost 3 and won 1. Extenuating circumstances, certainly, but you still would like to come away with the wins. We've got a bug running through us, and that certainly doesn't help. Thais was out of the first match completely because she had a stomach virus that Kristen has, and now Brooke has. We can't seem to shake it. It just kind of passes from one to the other. But we gave Yachin some medicine, and we got her back out on the court, and she sprained her ankle within 5 minutes. And so it took her out. So we've just been without Thais. We just got Thais back out on the court, and now, but it's that time of year. We kept our team size low, but we're paying the price right now because we're not real healthy right now, both illness-wise and accident-wise. So if we get healthy, we'll be fine.
I guess that's kind of a coach's nightmare is when you get some kind of an illness like this, a flu bug that goes through the team, because they're around each other so much, and you're almost guaranteed that if one person's going to get it, another couple are going to get it before it's gone.
Right, and this is a viral infection, and so they can re-get it. And like Kristen, this is her second bout with it already this season. And what happens is their immune system gets down low, and then they're more susceptible. And like you said, they live together, they travel together. I almost thought about when they got back home, making them go someplace and stay all night and disinfect their whole apartment. And if it gets much worse, we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to disperse them and just go in and sanitize their apartments and everything, and try to get away from it a little bit.
And I'm sure that in the past you've seen this happen to your teams before. I mean, when you've been,
yes.
When you've had the program going for as long as you have and all the success and things like that, I'm sure you've run across this more than one occasion.
Yes, and I think the weather has not contributed because it's not getting cold, and so all the bugs are staying around. And I think the heat has actually contributed to that. We can't seem to get more than one day of cool. And I'm hot. I'm tired of being hot in this gym.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's just not getting cool enough at night.
No.
When it still gets up in the 80s, it doesn't help very much.
Right. This gym holds the heat better than anything I've ever seen, except in the winter.
Then it actually holds the cold.
Yeah, right.
You just can't win, I guess, right?
Absolutely.
Well, the competition that you played out in Kansas was obviously very good. You had Hutchinson, you had Barton County. Colby was the team that you defeated out there. But it looked as though, looking at the scores, the kids really worked hard. There were a lot of close matches that you lost, so the kids worked.
They were the kind that you felt like, well, if we just had Yachin in there, we could have won that one because they went 4 and 5 games and stuff like that. So, and I felt really good. Like, for instance, Barton County, we went 5 with, and they beat West Plains in 3. So I think that, that's a good sign. Like I said, if we can just get healthy, I think that we'll be fine. I think we keep getting better at some things. Becky struggled a little lately, and we're trying to figure out what's going on with her hit, because she went from hitting at 45 and 49 every game to hitting at 3% the other night, and that's totally uncharacteristic of her. And Thais was the same way, and so it's like almost like a bug caught them, but it's not an illness. They just struggle a little bit, and so I think that we saw some signs. Saturday, I just said I had to come home because of an illness in my family, but I just said that that she saw signs of Becky's hitting getting more consistent, and so that certainly helps us.
So Ida was able to take on the team for a little bit.
Yes.
And gave her some very good experience, obviously.
Yes, and it was good for the team. I think the team responded to her well, and I think that was a good trial run.
Well, she's going to work them. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
I mean, she's the one out there doing a lot of the physical parts of the practices and things like that.
Right. She's been doing a lot of the training for the last year. Like I said, I help with the organizational stuff, and we work together, but a lot of the physical stuff absolutely is Ida, and they're a better, stronger team because of her.
Well, it's certainly going to make you react when she's hitting the ball at you. There's no doubt
Yes.
about that. She still hits it very hard, and she's probably always going to.
Yeah, it's funny. We talked about the fact, she said, I would like to go play now because you have the court savvy, and just about the time when you get the physical strength and the court awareness and everything, then your career is over with. So she's had some opportunities to play pro, but this is what she wants to do. So I'm glad, and we're glad that she decided to do this instead of going and play pro.
Certainly a very good bonus for you and the college,
yes,
no doubt
indeed.
about it. Looking at how the team has been playing, what can you put your finger on as far as what needs improvement? Is there anything you can really think of?
Certainly passing. We started out the season pretty decent passers, but lately we've had struggled a little bit, and some of that is because Kristen is out of the lineup. She has been sick almost from the beginning of the season, and she hasn't been able to recover. And so she was probably our best passer. And now even when she goes in, she hasn't been there, so it kind of disrupts things. So we haven't had her healthy enough to put her in, and that's certainly a key. And we've moved middle blockers in and out. It's just like with Yachin getting hurt, we had to move Dimitri. We just got her working on the left side, and now we had to move her back to the middle. But there are some real good signs. Brooke is kicking in. We kind of thought she would be dominant on that right side at the beginning of the season, and then she kind of took a step back, but she played really well this weekend. And I think that it gave her some confidence that she needed, because she made some great blocks. And so that's a really good sign. So like I said, and that's what it's all about, is trying to figure out how you're going to get to the end of the season healthy and playing well, and that's what we're trying to do.
A lot of the other things you feel are working pretty well. Is the serving good?
Serving is better,
Who
yes.
is the best server on the team, in your opinion?
Depends on the day. Certainly. Marcella has a good serve. It's hard to control. Laura actually has a very effective serve, and is one of our more consistent servers. So we have some that are more consistent and some that take more risks, but they serve more aggressively, like Thais. And so I think just teaching them the timing of when they can get aggressive and when to be a smarter server is certainly going to help them whenever they get a little bit more court savvy, to know when they have to put the ball in play and when they can take a risk and serve to a weaker passer and things like that.
How about serve receiving? Has that been pretty solid?
That's what I was talking about. Kristen is our passing. I think that, like I said, I think if we can get her healthy, where she can get in that game a little bit more, that's going to help us a lot on service reception. Hello, ball.
There, we got a volleyball coming through. No big deal. We're safe over here, maybe.
I hope.
But the team seems to be, even though you've taken some losses lately, do you feel like they're starting to come around a little bit? And again, once you get past all this illness and some of these nagging injuries, I'm sure the team's probably going to take off.
Yeah, it's interesting. And we knew, when you have a schedule the way we do, where you play consistently the top teams in the country, that you have to be at your best to play them. And like I said, from the beginning of season on, we've had little things, like I said, with Kristen going down the illness, and then Thais getting hurt, and then just getting her back, and now Yachin with a sprained ankle. Those are key people. When you take a Thais or a Yachin off the court, you've taken a factor off the court. And so I think that, like I said, certainly our biggest key is going to be to get us physically healthy.
Well, looking ahead to what you got on the schedule, matchup tomorrow night right here, as a matter of fact, Merrimack will be coming here. Or
no, it's at Merrimack.
Oh, it has at
Yes.
Merrimack. Okay, I must have wrote that down wrong. Yeah, it does say at Merrimack.
Yes.
Nonetheless, conference matchup, and a program that they've had some off and on type of seasons, and usually they're fairly good now, especially
yes,
in D2.
they give you a pretty good game, a good consistent game. They've got scrappy players, and they make you work for your points, and that's what we need. We need to have to work for our points.
And if you want to win another conference championship, that's one of them that you got to go through.
Yes.
And then, of course, your Jefferson College Invitational is this weekend. 5-team round-robin type format, and a couple of good ones are coming in.
Yes, and we probably will be without without Yachin. So, again, another tournament without one of our starters. And like I said, Yachin is probably the biggest factor, because she was number 3 in the nation in blocks and number 4 or 5 in the nation in kills last year. So when you take her out of the game, that's big. So I would suspect that we're going to be without her this weekend, and that's going to certainly hurt us. So, but it's more important that she get healthy by the end of the season than that we take a chance on losing her in a game like that in the tournament that would take her out for the season.
You're looking at the teams that you have coming in. I know Barton County's one of them. Illinois Central's coming in as well. They're both very good. I think Eastern Arizona was one of them.
Right.
And I think the last one, Gladstone County, is that what it is? Or
Yes.
Gadsden?
Gadsden.
Gadsden, okay. Where are they from? I never heard of them. Alabama, okay. Are they also a D1, I'm assuming?
Yes.
That'll be fun. Have they been in this before?
No. We try to reach out and get a few teams from around the country, and it's nice to play people from different areas. That's for sure.
So you got those teams coming in as well as yourself. So it'll be a nice 2-day event right out here.
Right.
It'll be, I guess, more of an afternoon on Friday, and then kind of a middle of the day, morning,
Right.
late morning into the early afternoon.
Right.
On
Yeah.
Saturday.
We try to finish it up because they're coming from so far. Give them a chance to get home on a decent hour, and it's going to be Parents' Weekend, so that'll add a little hoopla to it. So, but it should be a fun time, and it's a good opportunity for people to come out and see, especially the local kids, because they're doing really well. Right now, we consistently have 3 local players on our starting lineup, and that's kind of unusual. We certainly do our best to recruit the best players in the county and everything. And it's really a good sign that, like I said, we have 3 from the county that's actually starting on the starting lineups and contributing all the time.
I know as far as the high school teams around here, a lot of them are doing very well right now, and I'm sure you and Ida and everyone has some eyes on some of them. Crystal City's playing very well. Festus is playing very well. DeSoto's turned in a pretty good start. Stephanie's team is very consistent.
Scrappy,
too.
yes. Yeah, there's some good kids out there, and I know Ida's certainly looking at several of them and talking to some of them. So, yeah, I think that'll we should be able to get a few out of the county next year.
Now, the one thing that always happens every year is you schedule the Jefferson College Invite. The high school tournament is always here, and you're always gone that weekend. It seems like each and every year that's usually what happens.
Yeah,
is that by design, or is that okay?
No, actually not. It used to be when we were gone. I mean, we used to be here and run it for years and years and years. What happened was the calendar shifted, and what happened was West Plains went one way, and the high school went the other. And the high school state association sets the calendar for the high schools. And so we went with our invitational and our whole schedule one way, but West Plains Civic Center went with the other. Well, Miami-Dade's in there. That's one of our best tournaments.
Yeah.
And so we don't know what to do. I mean, I kept thinking that whenever the calendar shifted back, that the schedule would, but it actually didn't. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. It's unfortunate because we love being here. The kids usually call lines and everything. So unless we get an opportunity to meet those teams some other place, then I don't know what choice we have but to go to that tournament. Because I can't sacrifice an opportunity for our team to play some of the top teams in the country to run a high school tournament as well. And if you move the tournament, then you get some teams that can't play, and their schedule's already set. So it's kind of a situation you can't do a whole lot about.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things you'd like to be here for that. Not only because of the fact that for the most part you run it,
Right.
the program runs it. Marie does a lot with it and that kind of
And
thing.
recruiting.
Yeah, recruiting it. That was my next point.
Great opportunity to see 8 teams. So, it might be that I could help run it next year, and I could scout for Ida and the teams, and then give her some feedback, certainly.
Well, that'll be something I guess to look at in the future without
Yes.
question. But I guess so far so good. Things are going pretty well. As soon as you get healthy, I'm sure you're expecting this team to really take off.
Yeah, like I said, our record is not indicative of what this team can do. And so, but they've still got to prove it. They've got to find a way to play under adverse conditions. And the one thing that's good about sometimes some of your starters not being able to play, it builds your bench. Lacey and Dimitri have both had opportunities to play, and they probably would not have before. So it's built them so that by the end of the season, if we lose one, we're not going to be devastated because we're going to have kids that we can throw in there. But if you play all season long and don't have an opportunity to get those kids in, then you can do nothing about it. And you just never know when somebody steps it up. I mean, I've seen it happen time and time again where a starter's either gone down or just hasn't been able to function very well. And I can even remember at the national tournament, I had a young lady named Fran Orlando, her freshman year, that didn't get to start all season long. And we had a player that just couldn't function, a sophomore that just wasn't doing well, put Fran in, she was awesome. So I thought, well, I'll let the sophomore start again. Sophomore struggled. Fran went back in. Fran had a place to stay, and she stayed through the rest of the national tournament and did great. Well, I think we took 4th in the nation that year, and part of it was Fran. So like I said, when they get the opportunity, sometimes people step it up, and she certainly did, and I think that's something that happens sometimes.
Hopefully that'll come forth the rest of this season if need be, if some of these nagging injuries don't continue to improve for some of them. Well, one more thing I wanted to bring up before we let you go. I know on the 27th of October is the last day of your Halloween Classic, and I know they're planning a little reception for you on that day. It'll be probably kind of a humbling experience maybe for you.
I'm sure. The one thing I wanted to make sure is that they didn't do it at a time, they were talking about regionals. I said, absolutely not, It'll be after we play, so I hope it'll be less disruptive for the kids and a chance that, we can have a ceremony but not affect the kids' play or anything that they do.
That'll be, again, coming up on the 27th. We'll have more information about that coming up a little bit later on. I know you don't like to talk about stuff like that. You're not real big on talking on yourself and things of that nature, so we'll have to talk with maybe some of the administrators and talk to them a little bit more about it as far as what they have planned. Because there's no, in a way, you probably don't really know.
No, I know that there's going to be something, and I knew there would be. I mean, you don't stay here for 32 years and think that they're just going to throw you something and say, hey, good job. But certainly, like I said, my biggest thing is that it's important, but it's not nearly as important as these kids are and what they do, and like I said, I don't want anything to interfere with that.
Absolutely. Coach, thanks a lot. We'll catch up with you soon. Okay. That's JoEllen Stringer. She is the women's volleyball coach and athletic director here at Jefferson College. We'll take a break, and in a couple minutes we'll return with Kevin Emmerich, head coach of the women's basketball program. That's all ahead on the Jefferson College Sports Report on 1400 KJFF.
You may not know their names, but the students who are helped through a Jefferson College Foundation scholarship carry thanks in their hearts. It's for the kindness that our contributors have shown. Make a difference in their tomorrows.
Education, the great equalizer. It doesn't just mean you get more knowledge. It means you improve your quality of life.
Give to the Jefferson College Foundation today.
Great education.
Friendly atmosphere.
Beautiful campus.
The convenience and the affordability.
My experience at Jefferson College has been wonderful.
I find the quality of education here at Jefferson College to be one of a kind.
My experience at Jefferson College has been a major plus in my life and one of the best decisions I've made.
Jefferson College would be the place that I would recommend the most.
I'm Katie Williams.
I'm Kevin Higginbotham.
I'm Ann Martinson.
I'm Tony Markovich, and I'm proud I chose to attend Jefferson College.
And once again, we are back at the Jefferson College Fieldhouse on 1400 KJFF. This is the Jefferson College Sports Report, and joining us is the head coach of the women's basketball program, Kevin Emmerich. And lo and behold, they are starting regular practices now. It's hard to believe it's already that time.
Yeah, where'd the summer go, right? I mean, what happened to the July and August time frame? It got by us pretty quick.
You guys were very hard at work as a staff trying to get everything in place, recruiting. I know you had just a tremendous recruiting run over the summer. Got a lot of kids late, but you put yourself together a team that's certainly going to be very competitive. Coming off of what you did last year, you're certainly going to need something like that.
We hope so. I mean, as we've discussed a lot of times over the summer, you and I just talking. I mean, there's when you lose that many sophomores, you've got no choice but to get freshmen. So you can't. Pretty hard to bring in sophomores again. So we've got Dominique back and Ashley Weber, and other than that, we've got about 10 freshmen, and we're going to add to that probably later in the year. Some kids that will be eligible for next year, and so they'll even be, kind of like a super freshman type thing. So we'll probably end up with about 14 on the roster, and 10 of those will be freshmen that have a chance to play this year. And one of those years when we really need to stay healthy and make sure that everybody takes care of themselves physically and do the best job we can training and working hard. And anytime you got 10 freshmen, the classroom is a big part of it, the academic side. Try to get them off to a fast start academically. So there's a lot of challenges this year for us that we didn't have last year. And, again, we're looking at just trying to be 500 by Christmas, get ready for the second half of the season and see what we can do in the region and conference.
Let's kind of go through the very first day of practice, which was yesterday. How did it go about? What did you start off with, and what did you work on throughout the time that you had the girls together?
Well, we try to run the first 2 or 3 weeks almost like a basketball camp, with just a lot of drills, a lot of introduction stuff. We'll introduce our offense and some of our defensive concepts, although it's always offense first with us. So we'll work on that the first couple weeks. We try to introduce everything first, and then we break it down, work on it in parts, and then build it back up after Christmas and put the whole back together again. And, you know, we think that's the best way to do it. Last year's group bought into that and really did a good job doing what we asked them to do every day in practice, and so they got better every day. This group seems to be just as willing to do that, so we'll just see if our talent level's as good. I know we don't shoot it as well as we did last year, so that's going to be a different part of this year's team, but that's pretty much what the first day's like. Not as much running as people would think. I mean, we do a lot of our conditioning and drills, and off, you know, out of the practice time, we do conditioning, core strength, and strength training, and practices for trying to get better at basketball.
I know that this team is probably, like you said, not going to shoot the ball the way you did last year as far as shooting threes and things like that. I mean, how many times can you duplicate people like Candy Beamer and CT and
Yep.
Robin Stone and people like that?
Yep.
But it seems like you're going to be more post-oriented. You're going to be a little bit stronger down low.
I think we are, with Dominique back and then bringing in Deanna from overseas, and having Lindsay Rose from St. Jen come in and be able to play that 4 or 5 position for us. And then Danielle Adams is, you know, Danielle certainly is a wing that can post up and play the 4 or 5 as well. And if she's if she's playing a 3 and she's got a 3 on her, she'll take a 3 inside and post them up. And college game's a game of matchups, and last year we had good matchups because we were so talented in certain areas. This year we're going to have to play better team basketball, better team defense, and be a better team early than we were last year.
But do you kind of feel like it's going to be a work in progress, not necessarily because these kids don't have what it takes to play well, but because of the youth and because so many of them are having to change everything that they know into what you want them to know?
Yeah, it really is. And we really mean 500 by Christmas, and after that we'll get into the conference season, the region games, and you want to use this preseason, this first semester, to prepare for that region season and conference season. So work in progress is going to go on for a long time here this year, and we hope by February that we're going to be ready to peak and be as good as we can be and put a good base in this year for trying to be successful next year. I mean, that's really with 10 freshmen, it's not so much about this year as it is next year, but I can tell you that what we do next year will be a whole lot based on what we get done this year. So this is a real important year for our program. It's a rebuilding year. Gary's kids are gone. The kids we brought in are gone, and now it's a situation where we're starting over fresh with some new bodies and new people, and we get to start building it back up the way we want. So that's what we're looking at.
And again, for those that don't know, your coaching staff has stayed exactly what it was last year, so that's going to make it a lot easier, I'm sure, for you, and probably for especially the returning kids, especially with Dominique and Ashley.
I think it will, and we got to know, the whole staff got to know the other kids in the recruiting process, as did our academic people and our admissions people and everybody else that helped with them. So when they come into school this year, all those people are stable and they've got friends here outside the basketball program, and they built relationships with other people on campus outside the basketball program. So that's important too. And we asked them to do a lot of things that their high school coaches or AAU coaches didn't ask them to do. And it doesn't mean that my way's right, but our way of doing it is going to be the way we do it here. So we want everybody to get on the page as soon as they can. And offensively, that's difficult. It takes time. And it's going to take a few months here to get this group where we need to go. And yesterday was a scattered practice. You could see we had a lot of things to work on in every area of the game. We need improvement, and we need improvement fast if we're going to compete this semester. So even to get to 500 by Christmas is going to be a challenge for this group with the schedule we have.
With 10 freshmen and only 2 returning sophomores, I'm sure you kind of put it together in your head off and on ever since probably all these kids got here on campus. What would your starting lineup look like? What are you kind of toying with? I'm sure you've gone over it probably dozens, if not hundreds of times.
As far as people, actual.
As far as who's going to be in your lineup, or is it all just wide open depending on what they show over the next couple of weeks?
Well, I think we have a standout at the wing in the 4 position in Danielle Adams. And I think we have a standout at the point guard position in LaToya Johnson. And I think other than those two kids, it's wide open. And LaToya and Danielle both know they have to work hard to make the starting lineup. There's nothing given out here. I mean, they have to work hard to get there. But as far as people that are actually set for specific positions, those two are at two really important positions for us. Now, we'd like Deanna Voinova, the girl from overseas, to be able to play that 5 spot for us at 6'2", and she's got good hands, really strong, and runs the floor well. So we think we want Deanna to slide into that 5 spot. But we've got a lot of 2s and a lot of 3s, and some people competing for the 4 spot. And certainly Lindsay Rhodes coming in and Dominique coming back are going to compete at that 4 spot and help us at the 5 spot. So those two kids are real important. And Ashley Weber's going to compete at that wing position, at that 2-3. So we know that those kids are all going to play. Gosh, you go down the list, bringing Danae Beavers in late. She's a true 2 or a 3 that can shoot it. Cherokee Barrett out of Raytown High School is as athletic as anybody we've got and can play anywhere on the floor other than the 5. She's just quick and athletic and really skilled, and she can even play a 1 for us. So the Williams twins out of Bishop Miege, Trish and Shay, are both as athletic as anybody we've got, and they can play a 2-3-4. So we're looking at a similar situation to last year in that we have a lot of guards or a lot of 2s, 3s, and even some small 4s. But we've got a couple of big 5s this year that are, if we need to play Danielle there, we can. If we need to play Deanna there exclusively, we can, and we can also step them out.
Bottom line is you probably feel like you're going to have some kids that are going to come off the bench that are going to be huge pick-me-ups depending on what your starting lineup is going to look like. Everybody's going to probably really contribute.
Yeah, we were 7 deep last year, some games 8 deep, and everybody could play a little bit, but we're going to be truly 10 deep this year at least, and maybe 12 deep most games if we stay healthy, and that's a different situation than we had last year. It's going to allow us to press and do some things that we wanted to do last year but couldn't really do, and play a more full-court game than we did. And the only disadvantage is right now we probably don't shoot it as well, but we're going to shoot it, and we're going to shoot it better. But we're just not shooting it well right now. But we're going to work on that every day.
That'll come.
Yep, we hope so.
How much are you doing with conditioning right now? Is that a big focal point of what you're trying to do over the next few weeks?
I think core strength is. I think strength in the weight room and core strength with the abs, lower back, hips and quads and hamstrings. That's something we really work on hard preseason. I think that's important. The weight room stuff the kids have been working on for about a month, and we'll continue that throughout the season. So as far as weight training, we do it year-round. We try to do it certainly through the whole season. And it affects their shooting somewhat because as you're lifting, your shot changes a little bit day to day. So you got to continue to shoot. We have a lot of drills for that we think help them shoot better. So yeah, the conditioning part right now, until we get to Thanksgiving, the conditioning is really crucial.
You start off with a bang, too. I mean, you're only going to be practicing for a couple of days, about a half a week or so. I guess now till Friday, Saturday. Then you go right into a jamboree this coming weekend in Warrensburg. Yeah,
this is welcome to junior college basketball. I mean, that's, we'll give you a whole week of practice before you have to play 3 games. So, we're like everybody else, and all the coaches will get there on Sunday, and we'll all be telling each other how we're not any good, and we haven't got anything put in yet, and we can't run any offense. And please don't press us because we don't have a press break in yet. So it's a real challenge early for these kids. But the great thing about junior college is that the kids are here to get better. That's why they come to junior college. And so we get to play a lot of games early. They understand right away what the level is that they're expected to play at and how important those drills are. So the NJCAA does a great job of helping our athletes get better. And the jamborees that start this early are part of that. Now the coaches, we complain about it, but in the long run, it's really a great thing for our kids because they get to step out there Sunday. And usually in the NCAA, you've got maybe 6 weeks before your first contest. Well, that's a long time to practice without having a game out there, to motivate you and get to. But our kids, 1 week and they're playing, and I think that helps them get motivated.
Yeah, you got jamborees every weekend on until your season opener in November. Belleville next weekend, the 21st, one here is scheduled, and then you guys will go to Vincennes on the 28th. So it gives you plenty of opportunities to really see what this team's going to be about, and also gives you a good look at some common opponents that you're going to face probably later on down the road.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to see a lot of teams that we'll play, and if we don't play a lot of teams at jamborees, they'll be there. We'll get to take a look at them and see exactly what they're going to have, and it gets our team used to traveling, gets them on the road and helps them bond a little bit. It's a good team building thing for us. So there's nothing bad, no disadvantage to it. The only thing I can say is that, we want to make sure they stay focused academically while we're traveling this first month, because October's a big month on campus. You get to your midterms, and you get those eight-week grades posted sometime here in the middle of October, and so it's a critical time academically. But other than that, I think it's a really good thing, and we're certainly focused on the academic part.
And your regular season opener, I guess, is November 6th against Swick. They're going to be coming here. So that'll be a good way to open it up. You get to play right here in the field house, and through that weekend, you guys have your classic.
Yeah, we do have the Jeffco Classic that weekend, and Mike's going to be good again at Swick this year. He had a down year last year, but he's brought in some new kids, and Swick will be a good test early. Really probably too tough a test, and probably a scheduling mistake there by the head coach, but we're going to do the best we can. We're glad to have a home game scheduled early for our fans, and then the Jeffco Classic that weekend, and then we kind of go on the road after that for a while, but we'll be back, before Christmas and after Christmas, and with a lot of games here for our fans to see.
Hey, you guys are going to have a lot of classics to deal with, so a lot of back-to-back Saturday, Sunday games throughout November. Merrimack, you'll be at another regular season classic at Swick. You're going to go up to Blackhawk, Illinois Central, Vincennes. So that'll give you a nice test without a doubt. Not going to be playing many games during the week, but that's where this stuff comes into play.
Well, that stretch where we have to play at Thanksgiving, and we play opening night, we play Carl Sandburg, who hasn't won less than 30 games for like the last 10 years in Division II, and then we play the host team on Saturday, Blackhawk East, after Thanksgiving. Then we stay on the road in Peoria that night. We get a chance to practice on Sunday at a local high school. Then we go to Illinois Central and play at their place on Monday night. I don't think they've lost 3 games there in the last 15 years. And I think that's accurate. I mean, they just never lose there. And then to come back and get back into class on Tuesday and then head to Vincennes on Thursday and have to play again on Thursday night, who was again last year's #1 team in the nation, Southeastern Illinois College, that first night at Vincennes. Yeah. They'll be nationally ranked in the top 5 again this year. Game on Friday, game on Saturday, December 1st and 2nd, and then you come back and you put 6 games behind your 7 there that if you win half those, you've had a heck of a run on the road, It's like the Cubs taking that last home stretch or that last road trip west. They needed to win half of them. Go Cubbies. And I think they did a good job with that. So we're going to need to win half of those 6 or 7 to have a chance to be in the running come Christmas.
Go Cubbies. I forget you're an Illinois fan. But I'm not an Illinois fan. You're an Illinois native. So.
Yeah, I think we've got a couple people on campus that are Cub fans, and my wife and I, but we may be the only 3 south of St. Louis that are Cub fans. So, yeah.
Not too many of them out there, but hey. Nope. They won the division. Good luck to them. That's all I could say, because anybody's going to win that baseball playoff.
Well, I'm one of those unusual Cub fans that cheers for the Cardinals, and I'm glad they won last year. And it's a good chance for the Central Division again to show how tough they are. Have a chance to do something in the postseason this year.
That'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to that, because it seems like there's a lot of parity in both leagues. Yeah. You can't put your finger on one team. You just can't do it.
Yeah. It'd be hard to pick a winner right now.
And I guess comparing that to what you expect from the region this year, is it kind of the same situation? You really can't determine one team's going to be the team to beat? Because last year there was a lot of parity too. A lot of very good teams.
Well, I think it'll be similar to last year, really with the top teams, and the fact that I think Darren's going to be favored at State Fair. He's got the most talent, I think, recruiting class-wise, and Gary's right there with him at Mineral, probably, and Gary's got some sophomores back that started last year and played a lot of minutes. And then I think the rest of us are, Three Rivers is going to be good. Moberly's good. Crowder's got a new coach, and I don't know much about their recruiting class, but I know she's got some new kids. So I think the rest of us are just going to be sort of in there pitching to see how we can bring the teams along. But State Fair and Mineral should be favored, and Iowa Western's going to play in our region this year. So Iowa Western's got a good group, and they've got a new coach, and they're going to be good again too. So it'll be as tough, if not tougher, than last year. And having freshmen, you just hope they can get a sense for what that region season is going to be about, the first few games here, so we can prepare for that.
And obviously you're going to get a good look at a lot of these schools, a lot of the regional opponents at the jamborees that you're going to be at. You won't play a lot of them head-to-head, but you'll see them. You'll get an idea of what to expect from some of them.
Almost all of them. I mean, that's the advantage. We're going to Warrensburg the night before. We don't play till noon, but we're going to be there that morning to watch teams play. at Central Missouri on Sunday morning, and then we'll play in the afternoon. So we'll get a good chance to scout, and it gives our kids a chance, first of all, to interact with some other college athletes that are there and some kids that they know, and then get a chance to see exactly what we're looking at. If you want to make it to Salina, take a look out there. It's not going to be as easy as you thought it was. And I'm not suggesting they think it's easy, but you just don't have a feel for what it is until you go see how good the talent really is at this level. And CMSU is a good place to see that on Sunday.
Looking at the region tournament when that comes around, is that going to be a situation, it's going to go to Columbia this year? It's not going to be at Rolla like it's been the last few?
It is. It's going to be at Columbia College. They're going to host it. We're having a region meeting tomorrow morning. What I think is going to happen, Ryan, is we're going to have a number 1 seed in the region. And then since Iowa Western's in, that gives us 7 teams total. So they'll have a 1 seed. They'll get a bye that first round. And on Tuesday night, the other 6 teams will play to get three other Final Four teams to go to that semifinal on Friday night.
Okay. So and then it'll be at Columbia College this time around, not Rolla though.
Yep.
That'll be pretty nice though. It's you're talking about going to a major college town. Number 1.
And it's close for us. Rolla was great. They did a great job, and we have good memories of Rolla, and we would have been glad to go back, but they had some conflicts with their scheduling, and so Columbia College is good for us. It's a couple hours, so it's really not any further than Rolla, and they're going to be a great host, and we're looking forward to that. But like we talked about last year, you think about that region tournament, you think about nationals, but boy, in the meantime, you got a lot of work to do just to get to where you can play on Sunday, get through these jamborees, and then just try to get ready for SWIC, that first game of the year, and just not get embarrassed that night, come out and represent us well. And so that region's a long ways away, but we're always pointing towards that and always looking at it.
Sure, no doubt about it. But again, like you said, there's a lot of things to work on between now and then. And when you have the majority of your team being freshmen, obviously it's not a concern, but it's a situation where there's going to be a lot of learning and a lot of changing.
I'm concerned. You may not be concerned, but I'm definitely concerned. So, and I think that's my job and my coach's job. And we're not concerned about our kids. And I know what you're saying. They're good kids, and we're glad we got the group we got. But boy, when you start into practice and you realize how much there is to teach, it is a load to think about. And if you just take it one day at a time and try to help them get better every day, I think we're going to have a chance to be pretty good for the end of the year.
Obviously, things are a little bit easier, I would think, for you right now as opposed to last year. Do you kind of feel that it's that way? I know you're only 1 practice into this new season, but do you kind of feel like you're a little bit more ahead than you were last year?
Definitely. I mean, and that doesn't always translate into W's or wins, but it translates into a better experience for our student athletes. We're more organized. We really have tapped into all the support we have here on campus, from our administration on down to people that help with our program, and recruiting process, having to bring in as many kids as we did. And we got 10, but we had to bring in probably 25 to get those 10. So everybody on campus helped with that. And so in that respect, we feel more settled and just feel like we're a little bit ahead of the game. We don't feel so rushed and so hurried like we did last year to try to get everything in. And, we hope that translates into a better experience for our kids.
So looking ahead to something that I know that you wanted to talk a little bit about, and that was the reception that's coming up for JoEllen on the 27th. I know you've been trying to get the word out and that kind of thing. And JoEllen's not big on talking about herself, so obviously she kind of danced around it a little bit. But I can certainly let you talk about it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, if she won't talk about herself, I will, because the first thing you need to know about her is she's been here over 30 years, and she had to start when she was 6. Because she looks like she's about 40. So the coaching business has been good to her, and certainly doesn't seem like she's ready to retire as far as her energy level or, talk to her on a daily basis. She's really energetic. She's great at what she does. She's been a great coach, and she's represented our school so well, and women's athletics in general, so well for the past 30 years here. And she's the only volleyball coach we've ever had. And what we've done is we've invited everybody back that's played for her, coached with her, fans over the years, to come back. And it's going to start about 3:30 on the 27th, that Saturday, after their last game in the October Halloween Classic they're hosting. And it's going to be a real event, and there's going to be a dedication ceremony in her honor. And I just can't imagine a more deserving person than JoEllen Stringer to have this type of event held for her. And she's not leaving us, she's still going to be here, but walking off the court and retiring from coaching is an event that needs recognized. And I'm sure the national media will want to be involved, and She's the winningest coach in the country at any level in volleyball. And, I don't see that changing anytime soon. What a record that she has, over 1,200 wins. And I would just encourage everybody to come out. If we can put 1,000 or 2,000 people in here on that Saturday, and, it's going to be great for Jefferson College, great exposure nationally. And it's just it's the next thing. There's something good going on at Jefferson College all the time, whether it's opening the Arnold campus or whether it's Steve winning a national championship in soccer or Sam win a region championship in baseball, us making it to nationals. I mean, this is just the next thing that's happened at Jefferson College, and it needs recognized, and the community support that's been here for years, all the high school coaches that have sent players, and the people that have come out and watched JoEllen's teams over the years, they all need to be part of this because they're all being honored, and especially her players that were each part of those 1,200 wins need to come out and be part of this, and let us recognize them as well, because everybody involved deserves a great hand and honoring on that day, and that's what we're planning on doing. It's going to be a nice celebration.
Again, that'll be on October the 27th, the final day of the Halloween Classic that will be hosted by the volleyball program. Again, the reception for JoEllen Stringer. Thanks again, Coach. Always
Thanks,
appreciate
Ryan.
it.
Appreciate it.
That's Kevin Emmerich. He's the head coach of the women's basketball program. As we wrap things up, this has been the Jefferson College Sports Report on 1400 KJFF.